Hello everyone, welcome back to Korean Fluency Journey. In this video, I'm going to talk about the Korean pronunciation rules. I know that it's a big hurdle for learners of Korean to study pronunciation rules because there are lots of them and it's sometimes very confusing. The main purpose of this video is to give you a general idea of Korean pronunciation rules and so that you will be able to study even on your own. Just it's a simple guidance, general guidance for those who are about to start learning pronunciation rules or who are already started but still confusing those rules. I hope you will find this video helpful, and if you have any questions or suggestions, you're always welcome to leave them. So let's get started. Of course, before studying Korean pronunciation rules, you need to know Korean alphabet, right? Hangul. And we know that there are 40 letters in Korean alphabet, Hangul, and 19 of them are consonant letters, and 21 are vowel letters. So it is very important to know Korean alphabet, and also it's very important to be able to distinguish sounds from letters. We write with letters, but we pronounce or we say something with sounds, right? So not always letters match sounds. That's why most people find it challenging to even write or to pronounce. So that's why it's important to be able to distinguish the difference between letters and sounds. So I think you already know about the 19 consonant letters, right? And vowel letters. So just for reference, you can just look at them. And Korean pronunciation rules are also called 한국어 발음 규칙. It can be divided into four broad categories. So the first one is 교체 발음 규칙. It's translated into English like substitutions. One thing that I need to say before explaining these topics, I'm not a linguist, and I haven't measured in linguistics, Korean linguistics. These kinds of rules and I mean translation are from my own experience. So if you find some uh, terms here not so natural or not so academic, it's because that I haven't majored and I don't know um, specific terms in linguistics to call them in English. So I will just write them uh, so that it will be easy for you to understand. And so the first one is 교체 발음 규칙 substitution. The second one is 축약 발음 규칙 reduction. The third one is 첨가 발음 규칙 addition. And number 4 is 탈락 발음 규칙 elimination or drop. You don't need to know their names, but if knowing them will also help you to better be able to distinguish those rules. And now I will explain you each category one by one so that you will understand and get the general idea what substitution is, what reduction, what kind of pronunciation rules um, are in the substitution or in the reduction or in addition category. So the first one is 교체 발음 규칙 is substitution. So substitution rule is a rule in which one sound is substituted with another sound. So that's why we write one way, but we pronounce the other way. So basically, this rule tells that when some sounds are meet appear in one, like how to say um, environment, right? And they are kind of substituted with another sound. For example, these are the rules that are included into this category. 교체 발음 규칙. So the first one is rule of final consonants. It's about the 받침, 음절의 끝소리, how they are pronounced in the 받침 positions. Nasalization, it's called 피음화, and liquidization, it's 유음화, and palatalization is 후계음화, and glottalization is 경음화. So these are the rules that uh, are in the 교체 발음 규칙, in the substitution group. The number 2 is 축약 발음 규칙. It's a reduction, or you can also say combination rule. So reduction rule is a rule that in which two sounds are combined and form a new sound. For example, the rule that is included in the 축약 발음 규칙 reduction is rule of aspiration. It's called 격음화 or 거센 소리 되는 규칙. For example, we have the word 나타. We write 나타, but we say 나타 because when heat meets tigut, it changes into tiut. So it will be not nachta, but it will be nata. Nata becomes aspirated. The tigut becomes the aspirated tiut. And the next one is 기다리다. So when we want to say 기다려요, usually it should be written like this, 기다리어요. But when e sound vowel and meets all sound, you can just say 여. So as you can see, 기다려요, 기다려요. E plus and it gives us a new sound is 여, 기다려요. There are some people that can write and say 기다리어요. That's also correct, but usually Koreans usually say 기다려요 like 여. This is called 축약 발음. That's reduction. So instead of writing 기다리어요 or 나타, we just pronounce 나타 and 기다려요. And number 3 is 첨가 발음 규칙. So addition. It's a rule in which a new sound that didn't exist appear when we pronounce. So we write one way, but when we pronounce, a new sound is added. For example, that's the name for 첨가. 첨가하다 means like to add something. For example, there are two rules for this category. That's 니은 첨가. So it means you add 니은 sound when you pronounce. Addition of 니은 sound. For example, let's take this word 맨입. 맨입. You can say 맨입, but we write 맨입, but we pronounce 맨입. So as you can see, we don't write two 니은, right? But we just pronounce as if there are two 니은 here. 맨입. 맨입. If you say 맨입, they might not understand. You should say 맨입. Also, you might not understand when Koreans can say 맨입. What is 맨입? But it's written 맨입. Shouldn't we pronounce it 맨입? No, it's because of the rule 니은 첨가, and it will be pronounced 맨입. And the second example is 솜이불. When I first saw this word, I also read like 솜이불, but it was wrong. You need to read it, pronounce it 솜이불, 솜이불. So as you can see, we don't write 니은 here, but we should pronounce 니은, 솜이불. It's because it's more natural and easier to pronounce 솜이불 than 솜이불, 솜이불. Right? So just try to pronounce it by yourself and try to compare which way is easier and more natural, 솜이불 or 솜이불. Of course, it will sound more natural, right, and easier to pronounce. And there's 시옷 첨가. It means addition of 시옷 sound in words. For example, 공깃밥. You say 공기 plus 밥, 공깃밥, but it's correct to say and write 공깃밥, 공깃밥. And the last one is drop or elimination, 탈락 발음 규칙. It means some kind of sounds are eliminated or dropped, right? The rule of elimination is a rule in which already existing sound is lost or is dropped. So we had one sound in the word, but because of drop elimination rule, it disappeared. So there are consonant group simplification. It's called 자음군 단순화. For example, we have the word 여덟, right? We want to pronounce 여덟 because there are two letters here, but because of the rule of consonant group simplification, we will just pronounce one consonant, either R, real, or peep. So because of the rule, when real and peep meet each other, only real is pronounced. For example, that's why we should say not yodol, but yodol. Number two, so we just omitted peep, right? Consonant drop means 자음 탈락, 자음 탈락. So 울다, and you want to say like crying, we need to add 는, right? Particle 는. We don't say 울는, but we say 우는. That's real is dropped, right? Not 울는. It's better and it's correct to say 우는. And the last one is vowel drop, 모음 탈락. So the dictionary form is 예쁘다, and we want to say beautiful in the present tense. So it will be 예뻐요, 예뻐요. As you can see here, we dropped and omitted the sound, right? That's called vowel drop. That's 모음 탈락, 모음 탈락. So yeah, these are the general rules for Korean pronunciation rules. So if you want to study, it's better to categorize them in like this. So here, right? So that you will get the whole general picture first, and then you will study each category at a time, and it will be much easier for you. Of course, if you are not going to be a linguist, Korean linguist, or take some language exams, I mean, related to Korean linguistics specifically, right? To become a teacher or something else, you don't need to know all these rules, like all day names. Just in order to familiarize yourself with the Korean pronunciation rules and about this system, it's better uh, to study them in details, and it will be helpful. Like, to be honest, personally, it helped me to better understand the sounds, distinguish them, and also after that, I felt a great progress in my pronunciation in Korean. So I also recommend you, if you have any like books about the pronunciation rules, you can also practice. And then before practice, I recommend that you first get the general idea how Korean pronunciation rule system is constructed, right? And what kind of rules are there. And then you can study them in details or like generally. So I should say that it's not easy for the first time if you want to try it, because there are so many confusing things, and they might be a lot of linguistic terms when you search on the internet. But that's okay. Just try, and if you don't like it, you can just stick to the general rule, right? Learning them one by one instead of just learning in a more difficult way. So every person processes the information differently. So for some people, learning through terms, linguistic terms, and through specific, how to say, terms will be helpful also. But for some people it might be a bit like challenging. So there's no answer. So you can choose your own study style. So yeah, that's it for today. And I hope you find this video helpful. And next time, I'll try to go over each category in detail. So we will start from 교체 발음 규칙 substitution. And I said that there are one, two, three, four, five rules in this 교체 발음 규칙 substitution category. And then we will see what those rules are. 음절의 끝소리, 비음화, 유음화, 부계음화, 경음화. Yeah. So yeah. And I will see you in my next video. Thank you so much for following and for asking questions and leaving your comments. I always appreciate them. And yeah, 감사합니다.